So if it doesn't, okay, let's see if it doesn't recognize that, there is another way. There are more things you could add. Well, that's going to be very fast. Okay, so it says no, it doesn't exist. Why it says that? Because it couldn't find the link with this HTML tag and URL. So we could, let's add one more. Say it couldn't find that, even though we know it's there, this one is there, it still couldn't find that. So let's add one more object, one more properties. That. Let's add this one. So there are many ways to identify an object. This is a good example, I guess. So we are locating with its position. So let's see if it does recognize that. Yes. Do you see? Yes, it does exist. Do you see? So this is a very good example, guys. I mean, when you go to your workplace, when you're actually doing the actual work, if you cannot recognize an object, you'll find, a lot of times, not that many. I mean, most of the objects will be identifiable by, without any problem. But if you find some objects, it's hard to find. Use as many properties as you can find, right? Because position, this is a position, right? The position will be always unique, and the URL even unique too. So as many properties as needed to identify that object, do that. So minimum is 2. You could use as many as you want, or as many as you need. Okay? Properties and its values. Okay, do you see this is a very good example? And we have found that object with 4 properties. If we needed one more, we would have added one more, two more, right? We just needed to find it. What happened? We just need to find it, right? And we would find an object with its properties and values, and we could add as many as we want, and the minimum is 2. That's the formula. Okay, guys? Alright, so we did that. Alright, so now, what else? So now we're gonna find out or validate what? The search box, right? This. So how can we validate that? First, we need to identify the object. So this object, what type of object this is? Let's find that out. The object file. Click on this. It's a web edit, right? Remember I told you guys in the beginning classes of distributed programming, all the fields that you see that you could type in or enter some value would be web edit. So this is a web edit too. Okay, browser page and then web edit. So let's identify the object first. And how can we identify it? The same way we identified before. Correct? And then what is the web edit? And how can we identify the web edit? From before we know HTML tag and name, right? So HTML, just to make sure, go to tools, object identification, web, and I will the HTML tag and name. So these are two. And what is the HTML tag for that web edit? Let's see. Input, right? So just copy and paste it here, and then name, right? Same way. Name it search. And then, what do we want to do with it? Nothing. Do we want to click on it? Do we want to write something on it? No. We want to see if this object exists. Then, show me a message box saying the search exists. Else does not exist. Make sense? Okay. And then we're going to say enter. Alright guys, that's it. And then we log out and then we close the browser. So first to log out, click on the logout. It's a logout link. Okay, so let's write down. To identify the link. And how can we identify the link? In order to first, still if you do remember, just go back. HTML tag and text. So let's find out both of these are for the HTML tag is A in capital letter and text. Let's find out what's text. Log out. It's A. And then what we want to do is click on it, right? And then we close the browser. That's it, done. Alright, so our script is ready to test. So let's add some more time. So we could actually see what's going on. So now let's run this. So let's see if it happens as we expected it to happen. So it's gonna log in, it's gonna check the logo and the search field on the top right one, right? So look, I forgot. So this one will be closed. This one. Now it's going to open it. So does it say yes, it does exist, the logo? Yes. So now it's going to check the search. So what does it say? The search field exists. Now log out. Now close it. So did it pass? Absolutely. You could see the result passed. Do you see, guys? Is it clear? Can you do that? Can you do the if and else exists statement? Very simple. Just first identify the object. If you cannot identify it normally like this, like with two of them, then add 3, add 4, add 5, as many as you can, or as many as you need, and then say exist, and then message box. So we're saying if this object exists, then show me the message box saying it does exist, or else if it doesn't exist, show me it doesn't exist, and then it. Okay. Very simple and very easy way we try to do. Alright guys, so let's take a break. Then I know you have questions, so I'm going to take questions after I come back from break. Okay? And then we're going to go on. Thank you so much guys. So let's take a break up until 8:40, okay? Come back by 8:40. Thank you. Facebook? You say Facebook?
Yes, Facebook homepage.
Okay, sure.
Okay. My question is, here's the birthday, right?
All right.
If I want to do descriptive programming, by that, if I want to go to arrow button, how can I do that? Can you show me if you don't mind?
No, right now we are not into that stage. There are ways to use your keyboard with descriptive programming. We are not in that part yet.
Okay.
When you go to that part, then you will know you could just use your keyboard to do the drop-down menu.
It's more advanced, right?
Right. It's a little bit more advanced. We're gonna learn it in a bit.
Okay, okay, no
Maybe
problem.
in tomorrow's classes. Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, no problem. All right. Any more questions? Yes. Do it manually by now. We'll learn it. Don't worry about it. You have to ask me to type then on the same line. Yes. When you type in, remember, look. When I typed in if and then else, sorry, if exists, then I had to type in then, right? So you were saying, if you see that box, go and pick it up. If you see that box, then go and pick it up, right? And if you don't see it, then come back. So you are using then in a regular English too. So you have to use it like that too here. So suppose that you were saying it to UFT that if you see something for me, then say exist or tell me doesn't exist. Okay? So you have to use that. No, you cannot type the then in different line. No. Why would you type? Did I type then in different line? No. Guys, do it the exactly way that we're doing right now. So type in then at the same line as you're writing exists. You don't type it in a different line. I did it this way because the line would be long and you wouldn't see it in your screen. So I broke the line in different. So look, QTP automatically or UFT automatically broke it for me. Look, see the line is too big this way, so you cannot see the whole line at once. So that's why it's supposed to be only one line. So that's why UFT broke it. So you could see the line. So this whole line is actually one line. And this is another line and it goes like that. Okay. And this line is whole line. There is no break points or line breaks there. Okay, guys? The browser and page is index. I don't understand what are you trying to say. May Bratu Eagles. Okay. Oh, the name is index? Okay, I understand what you're saying. So if you click on the object bar, so we're talking about this Peoplentech LLC or index or something like that, right? No, you don't have to do anything with that. You have to do things with the properties and values, not with the name that says here. So don't worry about that, okay? You deal with the property and values. It says browser. Does it say index? No. So we wrote me class browser. No, you cannot use birthday set for birthday section. Why would you use set? Are you typing something in there? No. Jasmine Jasmine Pinky, this is just different properties and values that I added to identify the object that we are actually trying to identify, because with these two properties and values, the object couldn't be identified. So we added these other two in order for us to identify the object itself. If-else statement we use in many cases. For now, we are just using it for validation, okay? Of course, you need to add a space in between. A space matters, okay? You see, if you don't add this space, if will not work, okay? You have to have a space in between. You could turn it off from here, do you see? Alright guys, so let's move on to the next step. Alright guys, so let's learn about shell scripting before we do anything else. So shell scripting is the thing that we can use to use our keyboard strokes. Okay, what do I mean by that? We're gonna learn it in a second. Oh, before that, look, if you add a single quotation, not the double quotation, single quotation, anything you write after that single quotation will not be counted as a code, right? So look, after the single quotation, whatever I wrote, that wouldn't be counted as a code or executable line. Look, this one will open Internet Explorer, right? So let's try this out. I'm trying to show you how to comment. Look, it will open up Internet Explorer. Did it open Internet Explorer? Yes. But if I add a single comment, single quotation, this will do nothing. Look, did it do anything? Did it do anything? No. So look, so I don't want to. Let's say I wrote 2 lines of codes, right? And for some reason I don't need the first line. Or let's run it. So let's say I wrote 2 lines of code and I want to enter Internet Explorer, and then it says hi. Do you see? So let's say for some reason I don't need the first line of code. So instead of deleting it, let's say I would need it later on, but for now I don't need it. So instead of deleting it, we could just add a single quotation and mark that as a comment. So that means this line of code will not run. They will skip. QTP or UFT will skip that line and go to the next line available, if any. Okay? So look, it will show me a message box only. Did it open Internet Explorer? No, because I made that as a comment. So if you make that as a comment with single quotation, that doesn't stay valuable anymore for UFT. It becomes a statement, regular comment, not a statement. And it doesn't stay as a code. The executable line of code, it just stays as a comment. Okay? So let's say if I want to make the second line do the same thing. So it will just open Internet Explorer. It will not show me any message box. Look, open Internet Explorer, and that's it. Did it show any message box or anything? No. Do you see? So this is a simple little thing, but you need to know this. Very important. Okay. So let's learn about shell scripting. What is shell scripting? Anyone knows what is shell scripting? Okay, in some cases, for example, the example that I don't know what was his name, from Brooklyn class, he was saying, well, we'll use much more simpler example. Let's say Google. Okay. So do you see a drop-down menu here? Actually, let's find the more simple one, where I don't need to click that many times. Oh, actually, we could do that from here too. Yeah, I don't know, this seems better, but anyway. All right, so let's say we couldn't click on we can't click on this with discrete programming, right? There will be some objects in some of the application. You will not find that in many applications, so don't worry about that. So there will be some objects in some applications that you cannot identify, or you cannot use those objects with regular discrete programming or record and run. Okay, even record and run sometimes will not recognize some of the objects. So at that time, what would you need to do is that use shell scripting to send the keyboard that you are using right now on your laptop or your computer, keyboard strokes. So what did I do here? Look, when I went to Facebook, I clicked on tab. Click on tab on your laptop. Look, if I click once, it went to password, the cursor. Do you see? And then the cursor will move to keep me logged in. Do you see? This got selected. And then forgot your password, and then it comes to first name, and then it comes to last name, and then it comes to email. Re-enter. Do you see how many times I'm clicking on tab, new password, and then it comes to the birthday. Right? Do you see the drop-down menu? And then you click on that, and then you click down arrow with your keyboard. Do not touch your mouse, guys. Do it with me. Okay? Touch your mouse. Do not touch your mouse. Touch on your keyboard. Click on down arrow in your keyboard. Do you see? It goes to whatever month you want. And then you click on the next tab again, and then click on whatever you want. And then year. Do you see? Are you guys okay with it? Do you see? That's how you do it. So some of the times, some of the objects will not be identified with discrete programming, neither with record and run. So you need to select that with shell script. Okay. All right. Let me show you a more simple example. We could do that. We'll do that later on. But for now, if we open Notepad, look. If I click on Alt, you have Alt. If you have a Windows laptop, you have Alt. Look, in your keyboard, you have a key called Alt, A-L-T, right? Or if you use MacBook, you would see it's called Option. Okay. Anyway, Alt, and then if you click on F, and then you will see this drop-down menu. So if you click on Alt and F, this will pop up. Only with your keyboard. And then if you click, just go down a little bit and you click on exit, this will get out. So we are doing it with keyboard. So these keyboard strokes we're gonna send. We're gonna tell UFT to do them for me. Okay, the keyboard strokes. So let's do that. It will make more sense once we do it. So just pay attention, guys. If you have any questions, hold it until the end of the class. All right. So this is called shell scripting. So set, we're gonna write set my shell. This is just a name, guys. You could name it anything. You could name Abdur, Rafiq. It doesn't matter, okay? Then just put a equal sign. So just put a name, my shell, as it makes sense. And then we're gonna say create object. I'm gonna explain in a second what I'm doing, but just pay attention. System until all right. So look what I have done here. I've created an object myself. Okay, so we were playing with the object up until now. Identifying the objects, and if you want to take actions towards it, we're saying that what are the actions that we want to take towards it, right? But right now, I myself created an object called my shell, and I gave it a name. Remember wave the objects that we played with, wave link, and all the other objects. image or any other object. So I give it a name. The object that I created just right now is called my shell. I'm saying create an object called my shell, and this object should act as wscript.shell. Don't worry about this. This will make much more sense once we go along with this class. But for now, understand that this will create the object that I'm creating. It will act as wscript shell. Okay, and just memorize it. If you can, make sense out of it, just memorize it for now. It will make sense later on. All right, and then I'm saying run. Remember, how did we say run Internet Explorer? We could run any built-in software from Windows like this. Not only Internet Explorer, everything has its name. Remember, how did I open Internet Explorer? How did I open Internet Explorer? Systemutil.run and IEexplore.exe. How did I find IEexplore.exe? Went to properties, and the last part of properties says the actual name of Internet Explorer. So I said, run it with its real name, and I said systemutil.run. Up until now, I said systemutil.run Internet Explorer.exe. So exactly the same way I'm saying run systemutil.run notepad.exe. What is that? Look, right click on it and click on properties. Do you see the last part? Notepad.exe. So I said run notepad.exe. Okay, run that program, and then click on Alt plus F, and Alt stands for this. Okay, and how do I know that? Don't worry, you don't have to memorize it. There is a list that you could download from internet. So let me see if I could find it. There should be an image of shell scripting that has all the list of all the actions that you can take. It's not there. There should be an image. I downloaded it somewhere, but I can't find it. I'm trying to find it. Oh, right here. Okay. So do you see? So what will happen? So for that alt, remember I was talking about the alt. So if you go down and if you try to find out the alt, should say somewhere here. See, for down, left arrow, you say left. For page down, sorry. For enter, you say enter. Backspace, you say backspace. Break, caps lock, del. Okay. So like that. There should be for alt. Where is it? Why didn't add alt? See, alt stands for this. Control, there is a list. There should be somewhere. You could find it in the internet, but you know, you don't have to memorize all of this. You just could, you know, download from there. And you could use it later on if you want to. I mean, this is really important, the shell scripting, because there are most of the objects. I mean, there are a lot of objects that you can find. It's not there. I don't know where I downloaded it. Well, let's use these for now. Oh. Okay, anyway, for now, let's use these, and then I'll upload it in the forum, all the other ones that you need, along with the script. Okay, so don't worry about that. All right. So let's say, okay, so we open Notepad, and now remember I was talking about when you open Notepad, if you click on Alt and F together. Do it with me in your keyboard. Open the Notepad and click on Alt plus F at the same time. So you're doing it this way, and then if you go down, press down arrow like how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times, and then if you press Enter, it will exit. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. Look. So I clicked on, I opened Notepad, and then Alt stands for this. So I said, click on Alt and F together. So I said my shell.send keys, and then Alt F, and then wait 3 seconds, and then click on down, and then down again. 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you see? 6 times, and then hit Enter. And then it should exit out. So you have to do it manually first in order for you to know how many down keys or how many up keys or how many side arrows, left arrow or right arrows you have to click on before you actually write the script. Okay guys? Alright. So let's do this, let's run this, and you'll see that it's doing what I'm telling it to do. It will open the Notepad, and it will click on Alt plus F in order for it to click on the file. And then, oh well, you could ask, well, how do I know it's Alt plus F? Look, if you click on Alt, just Alt, nothing else, do you see F? There is a underline under F. So that means if you click on Alt F, it will open file. If you click on Alt, where is it? Alt E. Do you see there is a underscore underneath E on the edit, and O for format, and View for V, H for help. So either of them you click. Let's say you click on help. Do you see H? It will open help menu. Do you see? Like that. If you click on edit, if you click on E, it will open edit. Again, if you click on O, it will open format. So you know it by that. So Alt plus anything that has an underscore, if you click on that, it will come up like that. Okay guys? Alright. So even you could write something. So let's say if you want to write something like that. Oh, let's not write something right now, but because that would cause a problem. Well, let it be. And then, so look what happens. So let's run it. Let's see what happens. If we could actually exit it out, or we get an error message. So we need to, what we're trying to do, guys, look, what we're trying to do is that open Notepad and then write something called, let's say hello, and then open the file menu and then exit from there. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do. So let's see what happens. So run on it, click on play. Let's see if it does what we're telling it to. Okay. What happened? Yeah, see, that's gonna cause a problem. Right now, you could write it too, but right now let's focus on this. All right. So we open Notepad and then we exit it out from there, okay? And that's another command, but let's just try. So we open Notepad, we're supposed to open file, and then go down. Do you see? I'm not clicking on anything. Do you see it's happening with its keyboard and it exited out? Did you see how it works? Can you do it? So can you use it in different applications if you need to? Yes, of course. All right, so let's use it in a normal application. So let's say I open an application. Called Facebook, right? So we're trying to do it with Facebook. All right. So after opening the Facebook, how many times we have to press tab? Look, you could press tab with the keyboard, right? Tab. There is a button called tab in your keyboard. Look into that. Just press it. Open Facebook. Do it with me, guys, so it's easier for you to understand. So once, look, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. On 11, you go to the month and then press down arrow. Let's say January, February, let's say February. And then press tab again. And let's say second. And then press tab again. And let's say the year is 2013, something like that, okay? That's it. So can you select that? Yes. All right, so 11 times tab, and then 2 times down, 2 times down, and 2 times down. So how can you do that? So let's create a new test called shell scripting. let's do that. So we're gonna open Facebook. So we're gonna say system-util as always. System-util dot run IE Explorer. To open in Facebook, we're gonna open Internet Explorer, and then we're gonna say Facebook. Right? And then we're going to create our object. To create an object, you would always need to say set, and then my shell is going to set it as that. And then equal sign, and then we say create object. Guys, if you cannot make sense out of this create object, do not worry about that, because once we start learning functions, which you will learn from maybe tomorrow's class or next week's class, you'll see there are many times we're using create object. Okay, so it will make more sense, much more sense once we work with it more. Okay, so just right now, if you can make sense out of it, just understand that to create an object, I'm writing create object. Okay, and how to act. How should that object act? I'm adding that within the parentheses. I'm saying it should act as W script, as a shell script. That's it. And then I'm saying dot my shell. Remember 11 times? Dot send keys. And then 11 times. So do I need to write tab 11 times? No. We could do it something like that. Look, for tab, what do I do? So look here, tab, I write tab within this, okay? And you put a space and you say 11. So it will tab 11 times. Okay? Okay, guys? Alright, so it will tab 11 times, and then it will down. It will click on down arrow for 2 times. So for down, what do I need to write? Look, down. Is it down? And then again, tab. Remember? To go to the date. With this one, we did with month. Now we're going to do it date. So that's why I'm writing tab again. And then again down twice. Again, tab. again down twice, right? Okay guys, that's it, right? So let's see if whatever we are trying to do happens. Okay, so we are trying to enter the month, date and year with shell scripting. So we are without touching any mouse or anything. Okay, so let's add some wait time. Okay, so let's see what happens. We should open Facebook. So see, did you see? Since I didn't wait enough time, it clicked on this. So it shouldn't do that. Do you see? It came into this. Okay, so it should. I should put wait time. So wait time is very important for shell scripting because this needs to be accurate, very accurate for you in order for the shell script to run properly. So let's add 10 seconds because it takes about, let's say, 10 seconds to load Facebook before we enter into tab. Do you see? It happens so fast. So you clicked on, do you see February? Now it's gonna change today, and it should change to 2. Did you see? And now it's gonna change to year, move to year, and then it's gonna change to, I think, 2013. Did you see? Did it work? But it happened very fast. Okay? It's gonna happen very fast. But you need to be very careful about the wait time because the very first step that you are taking, the wait time needs to be very accurate with the action that you are taking. If it's not, then it's gonna mess up, okay? And it's not gonna, the script will not run properly. So you have to be very careful about the wait time, at least the first wait time, okay? The first one. Okay, so did you say did it work? Yes, so do you know how to use shell scripting for the, in some aspect of the, of your application might not be recognized with some object actually, or some aspects or some actions of your application might not be recognized with record and run or discrete programming. So in that way, in that case, you need to add shell scripting with your script, okay? And then run it. Okay guys? Alright. Very simple. You could, okay, so when you go home, guys, when you practice, please practice it with Google. Look, when you go to Google, so without touching anything, without doing record and run, click on this more, and then click on, let's say, wallet. So do it. with shell scripting. Okay, so let's see if you could do it, and then if you find any problem doing it or anything, just let me know. So you should click on wallet, click on more, and click on wallet without using any discrete programming or run. Okay. Alright. So this is how you use shell scripting. So if you want to do it more than once, or you always add the number of times that you want to do it within the. Okay. All right, guys. All right. So let's learn something else. So these are some small little things that you need to know before we move on to custom functions, learning custom functions and frameworks. Okay. Let's learn about file, system, object. Very important. Well, everything is very, very important, but you know, you need to practice all of them. So let's learn about file system object, which is called FSO in short. It's called file handling. So let's say you want to create a file, okay? Let's say you want to create a file in my computer. Let's say in my computer C drive, you need to create a file, okay? Or a folder, okay? While you're running the test. So while you're running a test, can you stop, pause it, and then manually, since you are doing automation, right? We are learning automation. We want to do everything automatically, right? So in QTP or UFT, there is an option, or there is a system called file system object, which you could use to create folder or files automatically with some line of code. So look, and that's what we're gonna do. So let's okay. So it's the same way. We're gonna say set my, let's say FSO, and then we're going to say create object, and then we're going to say the value. It says scripting file. You just have to memorize that. I mean, if you practice it enough, you don't really need to memorize that. It will come automatically. So just pay attention to what I'm doing. I'll explain it in a second. So I'm just creating an object. Do you see? After you write my FSO, it should create a folder. So after you create an object, when you write that object name, it will give you a drop down menu. After you write if you write dot, it will give you a drop down menu. That's how you know the object that you created was created successfully, right? So it gives you a drop down menu. After writing the object name properly, and then you put a dot, it will give you a drop down menu. It should give you a drop down menu like that. And then you go down to create a folder. And then you're gonna provide the file path. Let's say we want to add it in C, drive C, and then let's name it my folder, something like that. Okay, so you're trying to create a folder in the C drive in this section called my folder. So do you see anything that says my folder here? No, but you will see in a second. Look. Did it create a folder called my folder? Do you see? So we are doing everything automatically. That's why it's called automation, right? So this is not like you will not use file system object just like that. You'll use file system object in a script, in a whole script. Let's say you're running an application. Okay. Let's say you're testing, for example. Let's say you are actually no, not this one. Let's say you're testing Notepad, okay, the application Notepad as itself. So you need to write something, right? And then you need to save it in a folder, right? Obviously in a folder. So you create that folder and then you save it in that folder with your own name. So you're not, so when you're testing an application, there might be some occasions where you need to save or you need to manipulate some file system of your computer, and you could do that. I'll show that more examples of it once we go along with our QTP classes. In later on classes, you'll see there are many occasions. There will be occasions where you need to create, or sorry, you need to save different type of information, which you could do with file system object. Okay, guys? All right. So let's do that. Let's do more of file system object. There are more to it. So we just created a folder. So let's say inside that folder, I want to create a file. Where is it? Inside that folder, my folder, I want to create a file, a notepad file, right? Or a note. I want to create a note. So how can I do that? So we would say my fso dot create text file. Do you see? I'm creating a text file. Guys, very easy, very simple, but it's fun. This file system object is very fun to play with. So when you go home, if you play with it enough, you will find fun ways, more fun ways to actually play with file system object, and you could do fun stuff with it. Okay, it's not that hard at all. So you'd say create text file, where to create it, and then name of the text file, let's say you give it a name, my text file, and obviously you need to add an extension to it. So the extension would be txt. For text file, the extension is always txt. So look, it's empty here, right? You don't see anything in my folder. You click on my folder, there is nothing. So, but something is going to be created with this command line. Look. Oh, I'm sorry. So my folder is already created, right? Remember? So my folder is already created. So it needs to override my folder to create another one, right? Because my folder is already created, so it cannot create another one. So it needs to override. So to override, actually let's forget about override for now. Let's just delete the one that we created. So we could create another one. I'll talk about override. That's needed too in a second, but let's just do that. So look, it happened very fast. So it created a my folder, and did it create a text file? Do you see? Oh, it's empty though. There is nothing. So we could write things on the file. We could write things on this file. So look, step by step we are doing it. So we created the file, and now we're gonna say my FSO dot open text file, and then I'm gonna say the location, right? Because I need to provide the location, and then I'm gonna say just copy and paste the location. This is the location. And then we're gonna say for writing. And then I'm gonna say file dot write okay. Well, let's add some wait time because this happens very fast. let's delete this again. Let's see what happens. Okay. So it created my folder and then created a text file. What happened? I couldn't find the file. Oh, it's there. Okay, so let's open the file first, then we could write it. Text file. I don't know why it's not opening. Okay. So let's guys, I'm gonna explain in 1 second. Let's see if it works this way. Yeah, let's do it that way. Okay, so I created a folder. I'm creating a text file, right? So let's forget about this. Let's not open the text file. Let's just write something on underneath. When I'm creating the text file, I want to write something. So after creating the text file, while providing the path of the text file, after that I'm gonna put a dot, and I'm gonna say write line. Okay, so that means it will write a line of whatever I want to write. So let's say hello. This is just something like that. Okay, so it will create the folder. It will create a text file called my text file, and then it will write a line in there called hello, this is FSO. Okay, so let's see if it happens. So look, the folder got created. So let's see now if the text file got created. Do you see? Did it work? Yes. So there are more complicated ways to do it, but this is the easiest way to do it, okay? I wanted to show you guys the easy way. Okay guys, that's it. And now let's not learn the last but not the least. Delete the file. So how can we delete a file? So let's say I want to delete this file or this folder. Okay, this is very important, guys. Sometimes they ask you about FSO, file system object, in interview. So they might ask you, how do you create a file, a text file with file system object? So you have to tell them this is the way that we do. We create the object first, and then we create the folder, and then we create the text file. But anyway, I'm going to explain it. 1 second, let me delete it. So after that, we delete the folder. Delete file. Okay, so let's delete the file. Let's provide the file path. Let's say this is the file I want to delete after creating it. Oh, sorry. And then let's say I want to delete the folder too. So my FSO dot delete folder. Do you see? Okay, so first you delete the text file, and then delete the folder. Okay. All right. Oh, sorry, the file is already created, right? So let's delete the folder. So let's create the file. We have created. So it's going to be created. Did it got created? Yes. Do you see? Now it should be deleting. Did it delete? Yes. Now it should be deleting my folder too. Did it delete? Do you see? You saw it live, in live action, that it got created. I mean, if you want to put more wait time, you could see it more clearly. That it got created, it got deleted too. Right? So now let's run it again. So we could see more slowly. So it should be created. My folder got created. And there should be a text file created. And with the line, right? And now it should delete the file. Now it's going to delete the file. Now it's going to delete the folder. Look. Did it delete the folder? Yes. So do you see how easy it is and how fun it is? I think it's a little bit fun too, while doing it. So you create the folder, you create a file, and then you could create, and you could do so many other things. I mean, if you want to explore a little more, explore after you write my FSO. Always after creating an object, if you write the object name, after you put a dot, it will tell you what to do. Do you see there are so many other options? So just try to do them, okay? But first practice the ones that we have done. Okay, guys? So what I have done I created an object called myFSO. This is just a name, guys. Do not worry about that. You could name it anything. And then I created the object and told the object what to do. I told it to script file system object. Okay, so don't worry about this. Just memorize this line if you can remember. And then this should be very simple. And then I called my object with its name, whatever name, like wave edit, right? But this object is called myFSO. So I said myFSO, the object that I created, and then with that object create a folder in this location. Okay, and then wait, and then I said with the object that I created, create a text file, and then I gave it a location name, and then I put it a dot, and after putting a dot, I said write a line of something that I want to write, and then I wrote whatever I wanted to write, and then I said delete with the object that I created, the file, and then delete the folder. That's it. Simple, very simple. If you just make logic out of it, like if you try to see that everything, all of these things that I have written has logic, it will be very easy. Okay, guys? So just go practice when you go home and try to do it as much. I try to practice it as much as you can and try to do it in different ways. The file system object plus the shell scripting. Shell scripting is very important. File system object is very important also. Like, even though, let's say in your workplace you never, you would never use file system object or neither shell scripting, but still they might ask you in interviews. So you need to know them, okay? And you need to be very comfortable with them. Okay, guys, so practice these two at home when you go home. And I try to do it the easiest way possible, so it doesn't make, there are much more harder ways to do it, but I try to do it the easiest way. So to do it the way that I have done it, and again, this is just a name. If you just put it as this, always change all of them like that, okay? So this is just a name. All right, anyway. So, all right, guys, so let's take some questions and then we're gonna go home. All right. how can we copy another file and paste it in the creating folder? You could do that too. There is a, look, if you say my FSO and then dot, look, copy file, and then you're going to provide the source. Do you see source and then the destination? Do you see? You could do it like that. All right, so first get comfortable with whatever we are doing, and then we could do it. Of course, I'm going to upload everything in the forum. Yes. Either you type tab and down in all caps. Is it because shell script? No, just guys, the way I'm writing it right now, Ahmad Islam from LA, from Los Angeles, oh no, sorry, from Louisiana. Do it that way, the way that we're doing, okay? Because if you, just right now, okay? After you get comfortable with it, do it the way you want to do it, okay? FSO means file system object, okay? Of course, I'm gonna upload them. What is the exact, okay? No, this is nothing to memorize, guys. Don't you think this is self-explanatory? That creating a folder with the object that I created. Just, if you cannot make sense out of this line, just memorize it. For now, it will make sense because we're gonna use this method in many other things, or many other frameworks or custom functions. So it will make more sense. But just right now, since this is your first day learning this, just memorize it, okay? And then all of these lines are self-explanatory, right? This is creating a folder. This is creating a text file. This is deleting a file. This is deleting a folder, right? You shouldn't be, worrying about memorizing it. All right. Anwar Hussain, no, I haven't seen your question, so if you could ask me one more time. All right, any more questions, guys? Is there any more questions? Guys, do practice it. Do get the idea of how to do it and what to do it, and play around with it, okay? This is not harming anything, just play around with it. Change the name and do, but get comfortable with it first, and then Mr. Nizam. Who is Mr. Nizam? Okay. Why we are using braces? Oh, because that's the way you have to do it with shell scripting. Okay. Instead of parentheses, you need to put braces. Okay, for shell scripting. Nasreen Khan. Okay. There are some ways for different things. You need to put different stuff, right? So that's why. But don't worry about this. Just get a very good idea of both of them. Most of you guys might not even use it, but still you need to know them. You need to know them, guys. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't care about it. You need to know that, and you need to care about it. Okay? No, it will not work if you use parentheses. So go home and practice, guys. Everyone, please. This is not very hard. Shell scripting or file system object is very, very simple things of QTP. Right? So please do pay attention and do practice. This shouldn't be a problem. I know all of you guys. All right, guys. So any more questions? If there is no more questions, so I'm gonna end the session. So have a wonderful night, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Give me your prayers and everything else. So, Assalamualaikum Shawai, Bhalo থাকবেন. Take care, guys. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much. I'm gonna end the session.